put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. It is Tuesday, 17th December 2024, and we're coming to you live from the Port Mall here in Scarborough, Tobago. I am Adana Kambi. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. And of course, it is a pleasure to be coming to you wherever you are this morning, whether you are in your kitchen, in your garden, or getting yourself ready for your day. We thank you so much for choosing us this morning and making us your number one choice for morning show here on the island of Tobago. We have a lovely show lined up for you today, and we cannot wait to get into the conversations this morning. There are so many things happening around the island of Tobago, and so many things happening nationally. And of course, we want to take this time to extend our condolences to the family and friends of on the passing of the Minister, MP Lisa Morris-Julian, and her two relatives who passed by fire yesterday. Of course, a sobering moment for all of us here in Trinidad and Tobago. And of course, we're hoping that communities can come together and, support each other as we go through this time. But before we get into all of those conversations this morning, let's bring on news in 90 seconds. Dabadi Omera, MP and Minister in the Ministry of Education, Lisa Morris-Julian, tragically lost her life in an early morning house fire on December 16, 2024. The blaze, which occurred on Farfan Street in Arima, also claimed the lives of her two children. Firefighters from the Arima Fire Station responded to a 5:37 a.m. call, but they arrived too late to save Morris and her children. Her husband and two other children survived but sustained serious injuries and were hospitalized. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley and other officials, including very visibly distraught MP Camille Robinson-Regis, visited the scene to express their condolences. Morris-Julian, a former Arima mayor and English teacher, was a prominent figure in the PNM, serving as the First Lady Vice Chair of its National Women's League. She had been expected to contest the Dabadi Omera seat in the upcoming general elections. The cause of the fire is under investigation. The Movement for Social Justice, MSJ, opposes the recently signed Status of Forces Agreement so far between Trinidad and Tobago and the United States, citing concerns over sovereignty and transparency. MSJ political leader David Abdullah argued the agreement infringes on Trinidad and Tobago's sovereign rights and criticized the lack of public disclosure. While Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley assured the nation that Trinidad and Tobago will remain a zone of peace and not a base for U.S. military operations, Abdullah remains skeptical, warning of potential risk under future governments. He supports cooperative agreements but insists on safeguarding Trinidad and Tobago's independence from foreign military influence. Tributes continue to pour in from the international community for Dabadi Omera, MP and Minister in the Ministry of Education, Lisa Morris-Julian, who tragically died in a fire with two of her children at their Arima home. Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley expressed sorrow in a post on X, previously known as Twitter, offering prayers and condolences on behalf of her nation. UN Resident Coordinator Joanna Kazana, in a statement on the UN Trinidad and Tobago Instagram page, highlighted Morris-Julian's contribution to education and child development and recognized her role in strengthening collaboration between the UN and the government of Trinidad and Tobago. Both leaders acknowledged her legacy of service and extended heartfelt sympathies to her family, friends, and people of Trinidad and Tobago. And that was your news in 90 seconds. Again, of course, condolences goes out to the entire community of Trinidad and Tobago. Of course, getting that news. And, it was just really a sobering moment for so many of us. We take so many things for granted. It could have been anyone. And, we really have to come together and live a life and leave a legacy that can live on. We have to show each other support and love and try as much as possible to resolve issues as soon as possible so that we you know, when things like these happen, we really connect with each other in a positive light. And, you know, I just want to read something from the TTFS, Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service. They put out a press release, yesterday, indicating that they got the call to respond to the fire. However, they had issues with water in the area. The both fire services in Arima and Tunapuna were attending to two separate incidents, and by the time they got to the house, they did all that they could. However, they cited a lack of water. They had to make a call for additional water supply due to a lack of water in the area. And you know, some of these things are things that we really need to visit and to ensure. I mean, water is a basic staple for life, you know, and so it's just really unfortunate that that was the outcome. But putting all of that aside, let us remember to just show love to each other. It doesn't matter the situation that we are going through, but we need to show love to each other. And I want to call on, of course, the persons with responsibility for ensuring every home, every village, every community, every standpipe has a water supply, a consistent and regular water supply is my concern this morning, and I'm hoping that this situation will cause an urgency for that matter to be addressed, because we don't know what the outcome would have been had there been sufficient water. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, of course, it's indeed a pleasure to be coming to you this morning. Who do we have on the rundown this morning? Who are we speaking with? We start our interview this morning by speaking with Miss Trudy Dana Joseph, an author who is launching a book called 40 Plus and Failing. Very interesting topic indeed, and we're going to get into that conversation. And then we speak with Mr. Garth Lawrence, production playwright, and Miss Shanta Lindsay, songwriter and committee member of the Tobago Gospel Promoters, as we speak about Christmas Village, everything Christmas. Yes, that's coming up very soon. And then we wrap the conversation by speaking with Mr. Leroy George, Tobago Writers Guild Public Relations Officer, and Mr. Sean McCoon, musician and open mic artist, as they speak about cultural literary exchange. So you want to be a part of those conversations this morning. We do hope that you could stay with us as we go through the chats this morning. Of course, whether you are viewing us on our Facebook live stream, on our YouTube channel, or on Amplia 102, we say welcome to you, whether you are right here in Tobago, in Trinidad, the Caribbean region, whether you are in the United States of America, Canada, UK, England, wherever you are. We say thank you so much for choosing us this morning. And of course, we ask that you help us to share the live. Oh dear, I'm being told that I forgot to say happy birthday. You know, it's time for us to celebrate with those who are celebrating. Of course, we must celebrate life this morning. And how can I forget? We start off the birthdays by saying happy birthday to my good friend. This is Taliba Mohammed. Taliba Mohammed is celebrating a birthday today. And Taliba, we say happy birthday to you. The life of the party, the life of the party. Happy birthday to you, Taliba. And we do pray God's blessings upon your life. We do hope that you have a wonderful birthday today. So happy birthday to you. Anthony Baines is also celebrating a birthday today, and we want to say happy birthday to Anthony. Anthony, we pray God's blessings upon your life, and we do hope that you have a wonderful birthday today, and we do hope that God continues to bless you and keep you. So happy birthday to you. Drum roll, drum roll, drum roll. Let there be a drum roll. Let it be heralded across the globe. Today we are celebrating one of our very own, one of our youth hosts, Natalia Nancis, is celebrating a birthday today. A beautiful soul, beautiful inside and out. And Natalia, happy birthday to you from all of us here at Tobago Updates Television. The family, we love you, and we do hope you are having a wonderful birthday. And we hope when you come in studio tomorrow, you're going to be bringing some cake for all of us. Yep, we're looking forward to it. So happy birthday to you, my dear. And of course, if you are celebrating a birthday, you are... Look who... Nobody told me that my friend was going to be here this morning. Good morning, Diana. Of course, this is our news reporter here on the morning show. Good morning and season's greetings to you.
Same to you, Adana, and Tobago by extension. How are you this morning?
We are doing well. Of course, we are missing you here in studio, but we are happy that you are having a wonderful time off. How has it been so far for you?
Well, it's really exciting, going out, seeing different stuff, buying stuff. It's really nice.
I can't
Sorry
wait
that
for you to bring Christmas goodies for us when you come out. This is me being presumptuous here, but of course we do miss you in studio. And
yes,
they caught me by surprise this morning, a very, very pleasant surprise. Yes. You're my home girl. For those of you who don't know, yes. Biana is my home girl, and I'm so happy to be sitting here with you this morning. What do you want to share with our viewers this morning, Biana?
As we are on the light of Christmas, where I am, it's not much of a celebration for Christmas, more like for Thanksgiving. But, once you're around Caribbean people, it's Christmas.
That's right. We carry our energy wherever we go. Biana, I want you to stay warm, stay safe, enjoy your stay, and hurry back home. We miss you here in studio, girl.
According to the Jamaicans, me soon come.
That's right. So do enjoy the rest of your day, Biana. All right, men, we have to go for a short break before we begin conversations in studio this morning. And as we go, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Delta Distributors Christmas Special is here. Choose from our special meat packages at unbelievable prices. Perfect for your holiday feasts. Hurry! Limited stocks. Order now. 11 pounds chicken, 5 pounds pork, 5 pounds turkey, 1 picnic ham, 1 liter pear jacks, only $500. Order now at deltechdistributors.com. Call or WhatsApp 359-5040 or 237-0102. Only $20 delivery or come into our main road Argyle store. Are you thinking about spending Christmas in Tobago? Well, call us at Thorne's Place. We are located at the hills of Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port, with rooms starting at 200 TT. Call us now at 745-7306 or 682-8676. Follow us on Facebook. Check us out on Instagram. Message us on WhatsApp at Thorne's Place. Your Christmas in Tobago will be even more special.
This Christmas, believe in magic. Enjoy our comforting deals on furniture that'll leave your loved ones in awe. Only at Standard.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's week in review right here on 116.
Everything Christmas you could think out right in front of your eyes. And music playing, you could hear it from a mile. Everybody's singing loud, you know it's Christmas time. Christmas Village, you could find your uncle and auntie at Christmas Village. Buying food, you know it's a plenty. Something for you and the family at Christmas Village. We have hot cake, lamb, jam, music from the island. Choirs, pan, parang, and someone selling appliance. There will be lights, decorations, and a tree. Drama production, episode 1, 2, and 3. Christmas Village, you could find your mommy and daddy at Christmas Village. Buying toys for nephew and niece. At Christmas Village, something for you and the family at Christmas Village.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, Good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. We begin conversations this morning in studio, and we speak to a young lady, an author of a new book, Trudy Dana Joseph. The book is called 40 Plus and Failing. What a topic, what a name for a book, and we're going to get into that conversation this morning. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Adana. It's a pleasure to be here with you this morning.
And you know, when I first heard about this book, what a title for a book, 40 Plus and Failing. Usually people like to read books about how to succeed in life and how to achieve all your goals and overcome your challenges and be the best. And here you're talking about 40 plus and failing, challenging societal norms and redefining success in midlife. And I want to get straight into that part of the conversation in terms of defining what success is and why people think and why you think crafting the book in this way would speak to a type of success.
You know, Adana, it's interesting that people use the word success a lot, but what I realize is that too many people have difficulty defining what that really means. Right. Because traditionally, we have an image of success that says we're supposed to go to school, get good grades, get a good job, we buy a house, we get married, we have children. But people are doing all of that. And yet people feel like they haven't accomplished anything in life. People feel stuck. People feel unfulfilled, basically. And so it's important for us to establish the fact that success looks different for everyone. What you might think success is for you might not be what success is for me. So it's important for people to sit and think about, what does success really mean for me? What do I need that is going to fulfill me on a personal level outside of all of those things that we tend to associate success with?
And you know, you're quite right. And you know, going through the book, it speaks about how you get to that place. And you know, I want to talk about some of the things you did to get to redefining your success, because I mean, we live in a world where we very much compare ourselves to others. We very much want the, you know, the white picket fences and a house like the Joneses, and we want to have the cars and the houses and the babies and the, you know, we want to have the perfect marriage, the perfect everything. And you know, you of course 40 plus and failing in those areas, however, being able to redefine what success looks like for you. What are some of the things you did or the steps you took to get to the place where you thought, hey, that isn't necessarily success for me?
One of the things that I had to do was to really be honest with myself. You know, it's easy to blame our circumstances on other people. It's easy to blame our past, our upbringing, but then that level of accountability that is required to really bring you out of where you are and into where you want to be is what I had to face. I had to, you know, admit some hard truths about myself, that I made mistakes, that I wasn't making good decisions. And so then it really caused me to look in the mirror and say, hey, this might not have been all my fault, but it is 100% my responsibility to get me to where I want to be. I actually went on a 7-day fast. And when I say fast, I mean a true fast. I ate no solid food. I survived on water, coconut water, herbal teas and stuff. And in those times where I was extremely hungry, I had apple juice. And so the fast allowed me to separate myself from my physical existence and really tap into my spiritual side, and that is where I really got the breakthrough.
You know, when you're talking about a fast, a lot of people don't understand the power of fasting. They don't understand how to connect, because I mean, you're fasting from food, so you're hungry, and all your mind could be on is on hunger. How did you channel that? I mean, you use apple juice, yes, that was for the physical parts of it, but how did you channel that, oh my God, I'm desperate for something to eat, into connecting with what I need to do to move from where I am to where I want to be?
I'm glad you mentioned that desperation, because my desperation moved from my physical need for food into my need for God's intervention. Right? I, just like you would depend on food for your existence, because I couldn't sustain myself on food, I had to sustain myself on my spirit. When you're not eating, that is what will sustain you. When I was going into the fast, I said to God, God, there's no way that I could imagine doing something like this. And so I need you. And so what fasting also does is that it humbles you so that you could receive from God. It's an admitting that I cannot do it. I couldn't do it. I've been trying all my life to create this life that I really wanted, and I was failing miserably. And when I said to God, I gave it up. I said, God, I cannot do this on my own. I need you to tell me what to do. That is when I really got the answers that I needed. And so through the fast, he started showing me where I was going wrong, where I was missing the mark. And he also showed me that what I thought I was supposed to be striving for really isn't what makes a fulfilling life.
And you know, it's good that you were able to connect in that way and to get the direction and for the revelations to come, because sometimes we really deny that we are the ones responsible for the things happening around us, and we look to people. But this one has, so they should be able to give me and they should be able to help me, when the onus really is on you to get up and get going. And this is not just for the purposes of the book. I mean, it can be applied in our lives as well. And sometimes even if you go through the book, you can see where some of the things can be, you know, transposed into your own life. And in the book, there's a section that is a call to action. Right? You break down your experiences. You talk about some of the challenges you've had. You spoke about how you overcame them. And you also have a section in here where you're calling your readers to action in terms of giving them steps that they can take also to deal with things that they need to deal with to get to where they want to go. And, I want you to talk about some of these things that you have highlighted in that section of the book as well, so that people can understand you really have to get up. I mean, things are tough. Life is hard. Challenges happen, and we wish that we were multimillionaires. We wish, you mentioned that in the book, that you said, if you were waiting to sit behind a desk as a multimillionaire to write the book, then the book would never be written. Because we always wait until the perfect opportunity to do what we think we need to do to define our success. So let us talk about some of the things you need to do to get up and just start. You're starting, it took place for you with fasting. It might be something else for somebody else. So what are some of the things people can do to just get the ball rolling?
One of the things that people really need to do is to understand what their barrier is. Because if you don't know what's working against you, you will never get past what is holding you back. So I recommend that you work with a professional. I am a strong advocate for counseling and for therapy, because a therapist can really give you a better understanding of what is happening to you. You know, a lot of the times we tend to get stuck in our emotions, and so we're not thinking clearly. So a therapist can give you a better perspective on what is happening with you personally. So the first thing you have to do is to understand what your barrier is. And a lot of the times those barriers are associated with our past. You have to understand where you're coming from. If you don't know where you're coming from, you don't know where to go. So once you understand what your barrier is, for example, my biggest barrier was self-confidence. I was always brave. I would attempt things, but that deep-seated lack of belief in myself that I could really accomplish everything that I wanted to do and that I deserved everything that I really wanted was lacking, because it was coming from a place of a lack of confidence. So once I understood what my barrier is, then I knew how to build my confidence up. For some people, their barrier might be fear. And fear is simply a not knowing of what is on the other side of what you want. Somebody else's barrier might be a lack of support. It might be a lack of education. So once you understand what your barrier is, then you could take the steps to move past that. And then the next thing is You just have to get up and do what is necessary. You know, procrastination is another barrier. So what is procrastination? Procrastination is sitting comfortably where you are without actually having the drive and the push to get yourself from point A to point B. So you just have to just put that confidence in yourself, get the drive, get the motivation, get the support that you need. If you need support, support is out there. Sometimes you might have to pay for the support that you need, right? Because a lot of the times we are expecting our friends and family to support us, and we know how that goes. So sometimes you have to pay for the support you need. Sometimes you have to get yourself a wealth of knowledge that you didn't already have. The know-how. Go to a person who has done what you are trying to do and gain their insights and expertise from them.
And you know, you were talking about sometimes you have to pay, and how important, because you spoke about it as well in the book, in terms of investing in yourself, investing in building your character, your personality, your skills and your talents to get to where you want to be. How has that been applied in your life, and how have you seen it transform who you are today?
The transformation for me has been amazing once I made the decision to really spend money on building me. It really took me from one level to the next. A lot of the times when we talk about investing in yourself, we tend to want to spend money on the external things, but the internal things that will actually make us the people who we want to be is what we really need to be prepared to invest in. To get that book published, I had to spend a lot of money, right? And previously, I wouldn't have wanted to do something like that. I would always say to myself, I can't afford this. This is too expensive. I don't have the money for that. But once I got clear on where I wanted to go, the decision to spend the money was very easy, because then I could see past the expense. Yes.
You know, some of what you're saying this morning, all of what you're saying this morning is so very relatable. And I do hope that people will get their hands on a copy of this book, 40 Plus and Failing, you know, and it is available. Tell our viewers where the book is available and how they can purchase.
So if you want to purchase the book, you can go directly to my website. It's www.trudydanaJoseph.com. You can send me an email at trudydjoseph@gmail.com. You can also purchase on Amazon. You just type in the title of the book or my name and it will be there available. However, I only recommend purchasing on Amazon if you are outside of Trinidad and Tobago, so that you could avoid the shipping charges and things like that. If you are in Trinidad and Tobago, you can easily make your purchase on my website, or you could follow my social media pages, Dana Joseph on Facebook, Trudy D. Joseph on Instagram, and just send me a personal message.
Right. And, you know, I do hope, viewers, that you connect with Dana Joseph to get your copy of the book. Go through the book. I mean, the call to action, you gotta take some action. You know, she really speaks. She's very candid about her experiences in this book and the challenges she had to overcome to get to where she is, and to have the evidence here documented in a book just for you to participate in the journey with her. And some part in the book she mentioned where the challenges you go through today is kind of like trying to come up with the solutions for somebody else's problem. So there you are, being a success in somebody else's story as well. So get your hands on a copy of this book and make your life, you know, a success, and make somebody else's life a dream as well. Thank you so much, Dana, for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Dana.
You know, bringing us the insight here. And I do hope that you enjoy the greater success, of course, 40 Plus and Failing. However, challenging societal norms and redefining the most important part, redefining success in midlife, because we oftentimes compare ourselves to others. But let us define our own success story. But remember, you must take actionable steps to get to where you want to be. We have to go for a short break before we continue conversations in studio. And as we go, we invite you to help us share the live, share the live, share the live.
be advised that the date and venue for the Tobago Day Thanksgiving service have been changed to Thursday, December 19th at the Shore Park Complex. Start time 9 a.m. Come give thanks with us as we continue our Tobago Day celebration.
Unwrap the magic of Christmas and have the best Christmas ever with a Christmas Wishes loan from Bethel Credit Union.
Up to $20,000 can be yours, so you can take care of all those Christmas expenses. You could even pay off all your debts and your credit card.
Come on down to where we make wishes come through, because we see you
at BCU.
Visit any of our offices today at 31 Bethlehem Road, Bethel, Tobago, or Mount Mary Lower, Scarborough, Tobago.
You can contact us at 639-8226-660-7358 or 631-1336.
Normal lending criteria apply. Think, plan, save with Bethel Credit Union. Because we see you at BCU. We see you at BCU. Come on down, get a loan or two, cause we see you this Christmas at BCU.
It's the season of unforgettable, magical moments together. A song that reminds us of how our love blossomed. The warm, comforting smell of Christmas Day that brings us together. That feeling of comfort when our loved ones see the magic happening before their eyes. This Christmas, believe in magic, only at Standard.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Springs. Contact 49SWIFT 4979438.
When the game is on, you don't want to miss the best moments. With Amplia TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with Amplia's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 GB fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With Amplia, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. Amplia. Do more, live more.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning.
To the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. We are switching gears a little bit and we're heading into festivities. Yes, we know it's 8 more days before Christmas, but there's one more day before the start of this next event, which is taking place here on the island of Tobago. Tobago Gospel Promoters presents Christmas Village, Everything Christmas. And in studio with me this morning is none other than Mr. Garnet Lawrence. And he has some very, very important and interesting information to share with us about Christmas Village. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Of course, a pleasure for you to be here. And of course, you're wearing festive colors.
Yes.
See, yes, representing the season quite well.
Yes, please.
And so we're talking about Christmas Village. I know there are a lot of Christmas villages on the island of Tobago right now, rightfully so.
Yes.
And there's a space for everyone. But we're talking about this particular Christmas Village, Everything Christmas. And there's so many features at this event. So we want to get into what somebody can expect when they come to this Christmas Village.
Okay, so we have several booths that we set up offering different crafts and food items. And for me in particular, what we're doing is a Christmas program style event at the 3 days of the Christmas Village. So when you come, you're going to have not just food to eat and things to go and buy as well. We're going to have a not just a concert, but a dramatic presentation, a full-on musical production, including dance, spoken word, pan, instruments, parang, the full works, including a dramatic section. It's going to have 3 parts in it. And I would have been director and playwright for it. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how we as a body, as a people, come out and watch and have what we do in church outside on the streets.
And as you mentioned, church, the promoters for this event is Tobago Gospel Promoters.
Yes.
So tell us the connection there and the reason for it being a gospel group promoting a Christmas village. Because I know Christmas villages are just anybody, you know, like a government agency or a company or a group. But now we're talking about gospel promoters doing this specific event, and you're talking about church. So tell us the relevance there.
Well, what happened, from my understanding, because my part is just doing the play, but when I spoke with Joshua Powder and he told me what Vern's vision was, it was the idea of creating a space where Christian businesses could come out and show their ways and showcase their different things, their stores, showcase their goods, showcase their items, and he also, well, Joshua in particular, wanted to have that sense of a dramatic presentation of a concert combined into one. And so when he contacted me, he was like, okay, fine, I want to have not just a concert, but a musical kind of concert as well, because we want to also encourage not just the selling of goods, but the using of our talents or showcasing of our talents for the glory of God in a public space as well. Coming from a Christmas program background, and that is why I started off going into theater. We have so many young people who are in the body of Christ who have a passion for the arts, not just singing and dancing, but also acting and performing as well. So we want to create a space where they could come and they can see themselves on stage or see a future in doing Christian theater as well. So the idea was we have a complete package, not just you come and you see us as businessmen, but see us as artists, see us as singers and dancers and doing spoken word, the whole package. And because most of the times, I mean, right now, if you're in church, this is the busiest season for all of us. It's, you have this Christmas program coming up, you have to go and do ham and do jam and do lamb and plus clean your house. So we want to take that whole Christmas feeling of the smell of the food, of the liming outside, of the cold breeze passing, and of the watching a Christmas program that celebrates and lifts up Jesus and speaks to our communities about how we as a body and we as society can help improve the lives of those who are around us. So the play itself doesn't just speak about Christmas, but also how we as believers have a responsibility to pour into our communities to help impact and improve their lives as well.
And you know, you're talking there and my paws are raising because I'm thinking now, knowing your history in writing plays and winning awards and, you know, representing the island of Tobago in such a great way, I expect that this play will be something phenomenal.
Yes.
Additionally, this play is spans over the 3 nights. So you can't miss a night and say, well, I will come Wednesday, the opening night, and then, well, you'll miss half the play, well, 2/3, you know?
Yes. And the idea was, when he came to me first, he told me he wanted to have 1 play 1 night. I was like, okay, fine, cool. Then he said, I want to have 3 pieces over 3 years. And I was like, okay, well, no problem, we'll work it out. And so what's happening is, audience be aware, the guest artists are not just performing after or before. They are literally written into the script. So they're coming on as characters in the play and performing as well. So people saying, oh, I want to come and see Blessed or Gen X or Bajon Pierre, whoever's coming, and you miss the play, you might actually miss them.
That's right.
Because they are in the play. So we want to encourage you to come out. We're starting at 6 p.m., but the play itself starts from 7. It's going to be 3 acts, and we're looking at Tobago version of the Christmas Carol. Now we know how the Christmas Carol goes, and the play itself is called Threading the Needle. You know the scripture that says it is easier for a camel to go into the I have a needle and for a rich man. So that whole idea of Scrooge, the rich man going through, getting into heaven, I ain't telling you any more than that. But yeah, that's the whole idea behind it, and how we as a people, sometimes we're too good and we don't make good with the good that we have.
You know, you left me on a cliffhanger there, you know, I'm waiting to hear more. And it sounds so interesting, and I really want to encourage persons to come out. Tell us when the Christmas Village is starting.
It is starting tomorrow on Wednesday. We're going to have the craft opening from 2 p.m. and we're going to have the concert part beginning at 6. We're going to have different worship. We're going to have singing and dancing. And the play itself starts from 7 p.m. 3 nights is one play. It has 3 sections. You want to come and see everyone for it to make sense.
That's right. And you know, I like the whole construct of this Christmas Village in terms of, yes, having the vendors, the traditional Christmas Village that you usually have, having the vendors, giving them an opportunity, of course, to ply their trade. A little birdie also told me that there's a kids corner.
Yes,
right?
yes, we're going to have some bouncy castles and stuff children there as well, because we wanted for the whole family to come and have a whole Christmas experience. You come, you could watch the play, you could buy a food while watching the play, you could go and play with your children, so don't distract you watching the play. I'm not the play a bit too much, but yeah. So the idea is that when you come out as a family, you have a good night of good, clean, family-filled, Christmas-filled, spirit-filled fun.
And I saw some, if you pull back up the flyers there in terms of the characters for the play, I see some familiar faces there. You know, and I want us, director, can you please just pull up those flyers for me? Right, I've seen some viewers, you all identify anybody there that you know. Yeah, come and support them. I want to see their talent where acting is concerned. I really am interested. We have Miss Simoy Chapman here. Well, we will see what Miss Leander has to offer. Oswald George as Scrooge.
Yes, oh Lord. When I started writing this play, I saw it and I said the only person who could play Mr. Scrooge is Oswald.
And the only person to play Miss Candy is Rhea George, right?
Of course.
I think it's going to be amazing, and you know, I look forward to what is happening there at the Christmas Village, and I do hope, I want to take this opportunity to invite all of Tobago, persons who are holidaying in Tobago, if you're passing through Tobago, if you happen to hear about Tobago and you get a ticket to come to Tobago.
Yes, please.
Yes, I feel as if this is something that we can all enjoy.
Yes.
As I said, pour raising.
Yes.
I'm just listening to you talking about what to expect from the play. Just the play alone, you know, is bringing me out. And of course, all the vendors would be there with items for you to purchase. I think that you mightn't even think you want. You might see at the Christmas Village, I'm thinking.
Yes, so we want to pull the crowd for coming to the craft and then stay for the concert and eat the food out. So that when they leave every night, everything is gone.
That's right, that's right.
Please.
And 'tis the season. 'Tis the season for this type of activity. And so, you know, I do wish the very best to the Tobago Gospel promoters for this event. Christmas Village, everything Christmas. It's beginning tomorrow from 1 p.m. I think at the Scarborough Esplanade.
Yes,
the craft market will be there, the vendors will be there, and then opening at 6 p.m. with the production, well, the pre-show into the production. And I hope that you can come out and be a part of all that is happening there. Enjoy. Tell your family, tell your friends, tell your neighbor. In fact, when we close this interview, you're going to hear a little sneak peek of the jingle that actually drew me into this. And I hope that it will draw you in as well. Thank you so much for coming on this morning and sharing all that information with our viewers.
Yes,
and I do hope all the best, absolute success in everything that is going to take place there at the Christmas Village.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have to go for a short break before we continue conversations in studio. But I want you to pay special attention to our jingle as we share the live, share the live, share the live.
Get ready for the most magical event of the season. The Tobago Gospel Promoters proudly presents Christmas Village. Christmas Village. Everything Christmas at the Scarborough Esplanade, Tobago. From the 18th to the 21st of December, 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. daily. 4 nights of live entertainment. Los Cantantes de Jesus. And from Tobago, there's a village round the corner where Christmas comes alive. Everything Christmas you could think out right in front of your eyes. And music playing, you could hear it from a mile. Everybody's singing loud, you know it's Christmas time. Christmas Village, you could find your uncle and auntie at plenty. Something for you and the family at Christmas Village. We have hot cake, lamb, jam, music from the island. Choirs, pan, parang, and someone selling appliance. There will be lights, decorations, and a tree. Drama production, episode 1, 2, and 3. Christmas Village. You could find your mommy and daddy at Christmas Village. Buying toys for nephew and niece. At Christmas Village. Something for you and the family at Christmas Village.
This Christmas, believe in magic. Enjoy our comforting deals on furniture that'll leave your loved ones in awe. Only at Standard.
Are you thinking about spending Christmas in Tobago? Well, call us at Thorns Place. We are located at the hills of Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port, with rooms starting at 200 TT. Call us now at 745-7306 or 682-8676. Follow us on Facebook. Check us out on Instagram. Message us on WhatsApp at Thorns Place. Your Christmas in Tobago will be even more special. Ho ho! Delta Distributors Christmas Special is here. Choose from our special meat packages at unbelievable prices. Ho ho! Perfect for your holiday feasts. Hurry! Limited stocks. Order now. 11 pounds chicken, 5 pounds pork, 5 pounds turkey, 1 picnic ham, 1 liter pear jacks, only $500. Ho ho! Order now at deltechdistributors.com. Call or WhatsApp 359-5040 or 237-0102. Only $20 delivery or come into our main road Argyle store. Ho ho!
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
Unwrap the magic of Christmas and have the best Christmas ever with a Christmas Wishes loan from Bethel Credit Union.
Up to 20,000 can be yours, so you can take care of all those Christmas expenses. You could even pay off all your debts and your credit card.
Come on down to where we make wishes come through, because we see you
at BCU.
Visit any of our offices today at 31 Bethlehem Road, Bethel, Tobago, or Mount Mary, Lower Scarborough, Tobago.
You can contact us at 639-8226-660-7358 or 631-1336.
Normal lending criteria apply. Think, plan, save with Bethel Credit Union.
Because we see you at BCU. We see you at BCU. Come on down, get a loan or two, cause we see you this Christmas at BCU.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. I am Adana Kambi. Thank you so much for staying with us this morning. We're just about 7:48 a.m. and I know most of you might not be going to work, but just in case you are, you have about 12 minutes to get there. Of course, get there safely, do a good day's job, and then you can go back to all the cleaning and preparing for the Christmas season. All right, we continue conversations this morning in studio, and we shift gears. We're going to be speaking with Mr. Leroy George. He is the Public Relations Officer of the Tobago Writers Guild, and we're talking about cultural literary exchange happening right here on the island of Tobago, and he's going to give us all the details. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
I am well, thanks, and yourself? I'm sure that you're doing quite well.
Yes.
Right, and of course, when we're talking about Tobago Writers Guild, I know that it's something that is very dear to your heart, and it's something that you promote a lot in terms of getting people to read and to write and to get into that type of literary intelligence, rather, right? Mm-hmm. So now we're talking about collaborations here, right, and exchange. Let's get into it. Let's give the information that we should have where this is concerned. I know there is a collaboration with the logo, so
yes.
So let's talk about that.
So, tomorrow, if ever you wanted an excuse to go on the logos, you haven't been there yet, you heard about it, tomorrow is the best time, 5 p.m. is the best time. These particular events, again, 3 in 1, they cost no money. You just come with your $5 to get on the logos, and you're inside, right? From 5 p.m., the first thing going to be happening, we're going to have a display of books. Of course, the logos, they sell books, so we're not going to be selling books, but we are going to have a display of books written by authors from Tobago, mainly from Tobago, in the Tobago Writers Guild. All would be Tobago Writers Guild members. We do have members all over the world now. We have been expanding, etc. And also, at that same time, we're going to start back the lecture series. The lecture series is one of the events that the Writers Guild used to do on a regular basis that a lot of people been missing. And so we're going to be having a panel discussion. In times past, the lecture series would be kind of like a presenter would come and present something 15, 20 minutes or whatever have you. And then persons from the audience would be able to ask some questions. And then you break out into a type of basic free-flowing conversation, etc. However, this time we're going to have it free-flowing from the top, right? So it's going to be taking kind of the structure of, let's say, a podcast, something like that. And we're going to be talking about literature and its effect on culture, right? Or its effect on culture, rather. And for that, we're going to have 3 persons that, besides myself, I'll be the host, right? You're going to have 3 persons that know a lot about literature. and its effects on culture. We're going to have Cleon McPherson, right? We know him as one of the most celebrated, if not the most celebrated spoken word artist. And so I spoke to him just yesterday, and it's amazing how quick he could react to things and bring ideas together. And so that would be interesting. Also, we have a young man, a lot of persons know him as Zav. I know him by his proper name, Xavier Edwards, a former president of the Tobago Writers Guild, definitely one of the most celebrated reggae artists. And you know, music is another form of literature because you have to write your songs, etc. And his tend to be extremely well written. And also, we're going to have one of the founders of the Tobago Writers Guild, Miss Lauren Boris Phillips, and we're going to be having that discussion. That discussion is going to last an hour from 5 p.m. And also, we'd have our in-house studio. Well, you have the studio audience right there. And so they could become part of the discussion as we go along. And after that, that is going to end around 6 o'clock. After that, we're going to have an open mic situation. And for that open mic situation, we're going to be as the co-host of that open mic situation. You'll have Tobago Update's own Kwa is going to be there. And also you'll have like Sean McCoon, who is going to be on the keyboards, etc. And if you want to be a part of it, you just have to call the Writers Guild number, that is 620-5799, or you could call me directly, 750-8369, or you could call the president, that is 484-6726. And you could be a part of that. We already have quite a lineup already, but we could take some more, so you could go ahead and call.
That was a lot of information, a rapid fire speed. But ladies and gentlemen, I want you to stay tuned. We have to go for a quick break, and we'll be right back with more information on the Tobago Writers Guild literary collaboration with the Logos Hope here in Tobago. So stay with us. We're going for... Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. Before we went to that break, we were talking with Mr. Leroy George. He is the Public Relations Officer of the Tobago Writers Guild, and we're talking about an event happening right here in Tobago tomorrow evening. And he mentioned a name just before we went to break, and that guy is in studio with us this morning, and he is Mr. Sean McCoon. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Ms. Combi.
Right. It's a pleasure to have you here in studio with us this morning, and we were talking about the event taking place tomorrow. Mr. George was just taking us through what we can expect when we get there. And of course, we want to hear your contribution as to how the event is going to roll out, the partnership, and what are the expected outcomes.
Right. So, as we know, the Logos Hope is here in Tobago until the 26th of December. And this is a golden opportunity for Tobago as an island to really capitalize on this sort of partnership. Now, one of the benefits of this is the Tobago Writers Guild having the opportunity to partner with the Logos Hope, which is the largest floating library or bookstore in the world, and having some of our local talent and homegrown talent being put on display at the open mic. Also, it gives an opportunity for us to show as an island that we are ready and willing to collaborate with these international organizations. Logos Hope is a not-for-profit organization, very much like the Writers Guild, and we are always happy to collaborate to make events happen and to ensure that the profile of the Writers Guild is raised, and also to ensure that the profile of the Writers Guild internationally, showcasing what we do here in Tobago, and giving us that great opportunity.
And you know, as you mentioned, and Mr. George also mentioned, that it is a golden opportunity to partner with the Logos right now, and having local writers, their work on display at the Logos. We're going to have hundreds of visitors on the ship during this period while they're here. How does one become a member of the Tobago Writers Guild?
Becoming a member of the Tobago Writers Guild is easy. There is a membership form. You could find it on the Tobago Writers Guild Facebook page or the Instagram page, or you could call the numbers that I gave before, 620-5799. That's the Tobago Writers Guild number. You could call me directly, 750-8369, or you could call the president, 484-6726, and either which way, we're going to have a short conversation with you, because you don't want you to just join, and then when you join, we don't know where you fit in, because you have so much going on, especially now that we're becoming more international in so many different ways, not just partnering with the Logos Hope. We even became a member of the IAF, that is the International Authors Forum, earlier this year, that serves kind of like a trade union globally for writers, etc. Make sure life is easy, and you could transition from being like a novice to a professional writer, get paid for your work, stuff like that. And anyway, so once you want to benefit any of these things, and there's so many other benefits that I probably can't list unless you have more time, right? You could just reach out in those ways, and that's how you could get.
And you know what I like about what you said in terms of, I guess it's an assessment. When somebody wants to join, you give them an assessment so you know how to place them. Because you know, a lot of people like to join a moving train, you know, and so of course you want to ensure that you find a space that you know, can be of benefit to the Writers Guild and to the members who are joining as well. And being a part of all these international organizations, how has it benefited the writers? You also mentioned that we have writers locally and internationally. So what has been the benefits for the writers of the Writers Guild?
One of the benefits, we have ambassadors all over the world, right? So we have persons in Israel, we have persons in England, United States, Jamaica, etc. And so when there are events, like when the IAF had a particular event in one of those nations, you have somebody who is there to represent the Writers Guild. And of course, that brings international light. But in terms of you directly, one of the things, because we have been reaching such a wide sphere of persons, etc., the Guardian newspaper would have reached out to us a couple of years ago, and now all the members of the Tobago Writers Guild, once you become a member of the Tobago Writers Guild, you write an article, you send it in. We're going to probably give it a little editing, because of course it had to look Tobago quality, etc. It's going to be published every Friday. If you buy a Guardian newspaper, you would see an article written by a Tobago Writers Guild member. Even January, February, March, April, May. I just get tied up between March and May. May the 10th, we're going to be in the library. We're going to tell you guys a little bit more about that because the ambassador of Venezuela, we did attract his attention, and we're going to be doing a film screening about some Afro-Venezuelans in the times of slavery and the rebellion, etc. And of course, it being the embassy, they were looking to see if they could form closer ties with Tobago in particular, in contrast to just Trinidad and Tobago in general. So those are some of the benefits.
And you know, this event it's tomorrow evening on the Logos.
Yes.
It gives persons an opportunity to ask questions about joining the guild, because I'm listening to what you're saying and the benefits are innumerous, right? And so you can ask the questions there, I suppose, because representatives from the guild will be there if you want to join. Of course, I like when you join an organization to be an active member. So I'm putting this out there on your behalf. When you join, try to be an active member, get involved in all that is happening, listening to all the benefits that are coming from this. And I'm hoping that tomorrow that there is a good turnout, especially with all that you have planned. The discussion, of course, I'm sure is going to be very engaging, as you mentioned. Tell me the topic again that you're going to be talking about tomorrow at the event.
Literature and its effect on culture.
And you know, we have a kind of culture that follows other cultures. And so, of course, it kind of ties in, especially at this time of year where people talking about a true Tobago Christmas, American Christmas. How do we, you know, kind of form cultures based on the kind of literature we consume? You know, so I really, really wish the very, very best tomorrow. I hope you have the turnout that you're looking for tomorrow. And I really want to encourage people to get into reading, trying to write. You could write a one-liner, and you could start with one line, right?
Yep.
That's the way it starts, you know, and be a part of this move. And I believe in literacy at any level. It kind of positions you. Once you have the information, you have the power. Not so, that's what they say, knowledge is power. And so I really look forward to what is happening there tomorrow. So in closing, is there any additional information you want to share with our viewers?
I think this is also an opportunity for people with talent. Now, the Writers Guild goes beyond just writing and publishing articles and we have musicians, we have visual artists, we have different people within this space that are extremely talented, and the Writers Guild actually provides that sort of platform, and I think Mr. George would agree with me on that, for young, talented people within the Tobago space to come forward and be able to showcase what it is their God-given talents are and some of the work that they are doing. So hats off to the Tobago Writers Guild for being that sort of platform to allow young people to pivot and display themselves for all and sundry.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard the information here first on Tobago Updates Television. The Tobago Writers Guild, in collaboration with the Logos Hope, is presenting tomorrow. It's like a book display, open mic panel discussion. Come and be a part of what is taking place there. They begin at 5 p.m. and they run till 7 p.m. All you have to pay is the $5 fee to enter the Logos. That is their fee. And so you can be a part of this great move that is taking place there by the Tobago Writers Guild. So we do hope to see you there, reading a book or two, getting to know some of the authors that come from Tobago and having conversations with members there of the Tobago Writers Guild. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where we are ending things on the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. I want to remind you also that this Friday, 8 p.m., the night before Christmas, episode 3 airs 8 p.m., the night before Christmas, a true Tobago Christmas, where we talk about Tobago traditions that we do around Christmas time, from busting bamboo to flying kite, boiling ham in oil pan. It really is an amazing journey we've been going on. We went into communities and we spoke with persons who have the knowledge and the experience, and so we want to bring you on the journey. And of course, don't forget, we have to sample items in studio as well, as me and my guest, we talk things through Christmas. So we're airing again this Friday. If you want to be a part of it, you can join us on our Facebook live stream, on our YouTube channel, or on Amplia 102. This is where we end the morning show, and we say thank you so much for being with us. We head on over to GMT, so stay with us. And as you stay with us, we encourage you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. Oh, hi. Welcome to the night before Christmas, a Tobago Christmas. Tobago Updates Television presents to you a true traditional Tobago Christmas. So here's what we're taking you on a journey. Every Friday night before Christmas from 8 p.m., tune in to Tobago Updates Television to get all the traditions of a true Tobago Christmas. So let me talk about a real Tobago Christmas. We're talking about things like bussing bamboo, flying kites, soaking fruits, and don't forget about the punch and creme and setting wine. Talking about that. So tune in every Friday morning on the morning show to make sure you have all the details, because guess what? There is a calling segment where you can win big prizes. And we have so many sponsors on board who have amazing prizes for you, our viewers. Join us on our Facebook or YouTube live stream at Tobago Updates or on Amplia 102.
Tobago. This is our second episode of Autofocus. And this morning I want us to explore some background to the modern Tobago House of Assembly. You may have heard that we are approaching the 250th year of the Parliament being in Tobago. That's the institution called the Tobago House of Assembly, because that existed long before we became an independent nation. However, the modern Tobago House of Assembly came as a result of a motion moved in 1977 by former President, Prime Minister and Chairman of the THA, A.N.R. Robinson. Owing to that motion, the THA Act of 1980 instituted the modern Tobago House of Assembly, and Mr. Robinson went on to leading the very first installation of the modern Tobago House of Assembly some 44 years ago. That act came with significant limitations, particularly with regards to the structure of the Tobago House of Assembly. You may not know that with that first installation between 1980 and 1996, A.N.R. Robinson started as a president the habit of calling leaders in the various divisions secretaries, but there were actually no regulation or law that allowed for that until 1996. That is to tell you how limited the structure of the THA was a little better than perhaps a county council, and some will argue it wasn't much better than a county council. As a result, in 1996, the same A.N.R. Robinson, after forming a coalition with the then UNC led by Basdio Pandey, in the 1772 arrangement, he decided that he would bring before the House Act 40 of 1996, and that's the Parliament. And that is the act upon which the current installation of the Tobago House of Assembly operates. Between 1980 and 1996, we had a chairman leading the Tobago House of Assembly, and as of 1996, we have a chief secretary that leads the Tobago House of Assembly. And that's why we made the distinction that A.N.R. Robinson was the first chairman of the THA and Mr. Hochoy Charles was the first chief secretary of the THA. Now, why do we want more? Isn't the Act 40 of 1996 sufficient? And the answer is no. It's not sufficient because it still did not realize the dream as mooted before the Parliament in 1977. It still does not accord unto the people of Tobago the constitutional authority to actually manage and govern ourselves. It does not give us the right to pass laws governing things that are important to the people of Tobago and that will actually have command over the space that is Tobago. And so this is about ensuring that Tobagonians can truly self-actualize, politically that is, in this space called Tobago. It is about ensuring that the government you vote for can actually pass meaningful laws that will improve your life and your livelihoods here in Tobago. And let me give you some quick examples. In November of 2021, the Tobago House of Assembly unanimously agreed that we should send a bill down to Parliament that will accord unto the Tobago House of Assembly the authority to create and implement policies to govern marine parks in the Tobago space. Guess what? We are in 2024 and that bill has never made its way onto the parliamentary floor, which simply means that the parliament just does not care about the things that are priority for Tobago. But that is a priority matter for Tobagonians because we are about sustainable tourism. We are about protecting our blue assets in the marine space. But we can't do that because we just don't have the authority to do so. And there are so many other areas of our lives that just simply require someone from Trinidad, from the central government, to authorize it or to allow it to happen. And sometimes that slows the progress here on island. A more current example is what's happening at the Registrar General's office. Once upon a time, we used to be able to get a birth paper in a matter of some minutes, the death certificate in a matter of some minutes. If there was an error on the certificate, it could be corrected here in Tobago. However, some colonial-minded public servants in Trinidad felt that, look, that was too much power to give to Tobago. So you know what happens now? If there's an error on your death certificate, you have to literally apply here in Tobago and wait about 6 weeks to get it corrected. Or take a flight, go to Trinidad and get it the same day in Trinidad. This kind of disparity in services being available to the people of Tobago versus the people in Trinidad adds to the reason why we need to now update and upgrade Act 40 of 1996. Because we are separated by geography. We have distinct cultures. We have distinct ambitions, different cultures. And of course, the distance between us means that if we have to have one country where there is equality between the two islands and the people living on both islands must enjoy equally the same levels of service, it means that we have to have the authority here in Tobago to deliver those services to the people of Tobago in a timely fashion. And that's why when the consultations were done, the extensive consultations by former Chief Secretary Orville London, one of the matters that came up was a matter of a distinct public service in Tobago to treat with public service matters. So all our public officers who are waiting on appointments, who are waiting on approval for sick leave, like our teachers, waiting on appointment for sick leave, sometimes for donkey years, just waiting on someone in Trinidad to just sign off on it. That cannot be how we run a country, where if you live on the larger island, you can get the same service in a matter of some days. But if you live in Tobago, you wait forever to get that service. And some people think that that's okay. That is not okay. And so this call for greater autonomy is really about putting in the hands of Tobagonians this opportunity to take charge and to manage our destiny, to ensure that we have access to services and quality care from our government here on island in a timely fashion. We're not interested in disrupting what happens in Trinidad and the government flow in Trinidad or governance flow in Trinidad. It's about providing quality access to the people of Tobago in a timely manner. And there you have it, the trajectory from 1980 to then 1996 and where we are at present. This was another episode of Auto Focus. The next time you will hear from me is on Friday morning when we look at auto correct and we look to correct some misinformation in the space. But for now, at least you understand the progression of the Tobago House of Assembly and where we are and where we need to go. Please have a productive week ahead. God bless you.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago.
Rise up to a brand new dawn and as the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers, we are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying Tobago is number one. I am you and you are me. Together we stronger. Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Tobago. Yeah. Hey.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago.
Let's go, go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers, we are melanated ones.
Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host, Chanel Felix. And you know, whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. But before we get into this morning's interesting conversations, we want to send out a special condolences to MP Lisa Morris Julian, her family, who perished yesterday in that horrible house fire. So we are sending out our condolences to her husband and to her immediate family. This morning, let's get into our news in 90 seconds. So the Dabadi O'Meara MP and Minister in the Ministry of Education, Lisa Morris Julian, tragically lost her life in an early morning house fire on December 16, 2024. The blaze, which occurred on Farfan Street in Arima, also claimed the lives of two of her children. Firefighters from the Arima Fire Station responded to a 5:37 a.m. call, but they arrived too late to save Morris Julian and her children. Her husband and two other children survived but sustained serious injuries and were hospitalized. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley and other officials, including a visibly distraught MP Camille Robinson-Regis, visited the scene to express their condolences. Morris Julian, a former Arima mayor and English teacher, was a prominent figure in the PNM, serving as the First Lady, Vice Chair of its National Women's League, and she was expected to contest the Dabadi O'Meara seat in the upcoming general election. The cause of the fire is still under investigations. Additionally, the Movement for Social Justice, MSJ, opposes the recently signed status of force agreement between Trinidad and Tobago and the United States, citing concerns over sovereignty and transparency. MSJ political leader David Abdullah argued the agreement infringes on Trinidad and Tobago's sovereign rights and criticized the lack of public disclosure. While Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley assured the nation that Trinidad and Tobago would remain a zone of peace and not a base for U.S. military operations, Abdullah remains skeptical, warning of potential risk under future governments. He supports cooperative agreements but insists on safeguarding Trinidad and Tobago's independence from foreign military influence. And finally, tributes continue to pour in from international community for the Dabadi O'Meara MP and Minister in the Ministry of Education, Lisa Morris Julian, who tragically died in a fire with two of her children at their Arima home. Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley expressed her sorrow in a post on X, offering
offering prayers and condolences on behalf of her nation. UN Resident Coordinator Joanne Kazana, in a statement on the UN Trinidad and Tobago Instagram page, highlighted Maurice Julian's contribution to education and child development and recognized her role in strengthening collaborations between the UN and the government of Trinidad and Tobago. Both leaders acknowledged her legacy of service and extended heartfelt sympathies to her family, friends, and the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And that was our news in 90 seconds. Now, as we have been a bit on the topic of loss this morning with such a tragic situation happening to one of the ministers in the Ministry of Education, this morning we are talking about dealing with grief and loss. And to have that conversation with me this morning, I have Davarel Cipriani, who is a Senior Victims and Witness Support Officer at the TTPS. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me this morning.
Now, the nation is in a bit of we could say the nation is in mourning. But this is also reflective of the situation for a number of families at this time, whether it's something fresh or something a bit older. But the truth is, you don't just wake up one day feeling okay. Some persons say it gets better with time. Some persons say it gets worse with time. But there are initiatives and programs in place to help families to deal with the grief that comes from experiencing loss on any magnitude, especially when it comes to the loss of life of a family member. So this morning, in your capacity as Senior Victim and Witness Support Officer, tell us a bit about the Life After Loss initiative.
Okay. So let me first extend my condolences to the family of MP Julian. That was a tragic day for our country. And I can only imagine how her family, her constituents, the government, Prime Minister are all dealing with that. And I must say, the Victim and Witness Support Unit, our team were also there to provide support for those persons who would have been reeling from that incident. Loss is hard on any magnitude to deal with, and as such, a nationwide loss is felt. The ripples of that would be felt throughout the country.
Okay.
So,
has any of your life experiences particularly drove you to become very, very passionate about this area?
I believe so. I think to do the type of work that we do at the Victim and Witness Support, you have to have had some profound life experience to delve into working with people when they're at their most vulnerable state. And it's important to understand, working within the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, it's not the first place that persons want to come. So when persons are there, you understand that they have gone through some life-changing events and they have now come to seek that assistance. In a personal capacity, I have experienced great loss, and it has helped me, it has shaped me to do the work that is necessary to also assist persons get out of that dark place and navigate those feelings of hopelessness and loss to find that there is life after loss.
And for the officers who may not have had such great loss, what do you think it really takes to have the type of passion and empathy towards persons when they come seeking support and help when they've experienced maybe the loss of a loved one?
Well, I think within the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, we aim to serve with pride, as the motto says. So not all persons may have that empathetic nature, but it's important that we continue doing training and we continue assisting our colleagues who may not have that naturally to ensure that every person that is seen by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service feels that they are heard, feels that they are seen, and know that we stand in solidarity with them as we try to assist them move along that path.
Okay, and is it a situation where persons have to reach out to you, or when there is a tragic situation that's happening? Let's just say, for instance, you know, a family of four were murdered. You know, these are things that we see happening in Trinidad and Tobago all the time. Is it that the TTPS would reach out to the surviving family members, offering the support, or is the facility there for persons to take advantage of if they want that?
Well, the facility is there for persons to take advantage of if they want that. And I think if I have to elaborate a bit more on the Victim and Witness Support Unit, the Victim and Witness Support Unit has been in existence since 2008. We started with a staff of 6 persons, and now we've grown since 2008 to about a staff of 38 persons. And from that time to now, we have seen upwards of 38,000 persons within Trinidad and Tobago. So the service is there. How Victim and Witness Support works, we work within the service. So like you said, a murder may happen. We are on call, we are on standby to offer that care, that support that is necessary. So officers immediately will let us know, listen, we've had this tragedy happen. We need to provide intervention for these persons, because at that moment, that crisis, persons don't know how to cope. You don't know. Loss is tragic, and loss is often unexpected in these instances. So at that moment, the Victim and Witness Support officers, we get that call, we step in immediately and provide that crisis intervention for the families in need.
Excellent. And so it's not just about loss on a whole, but persons who have experienced something traumatic, whether it be rape or witnessing a murder in front of their eyes. And so can you walk us through the level of confidentiality that is attached to the service, and what does the process kind of look like?
Okay, so at the Victim and Witness Support Unit, we work with anybody who has been a victim of any crime. And we are talking something from an assault on the street to the greatest of crimes, murder. And confidentiality is of utmost importance in the type of work that we do. As a matter of fact, any client of ours, we have a strict confidentiality form that we fill out with clients, so they know that their information is safe within our unit, and they can hold us to account if anything, if they feel like their information is outside. Because we want persons to know that they have a safe space in us. They can share freely, they can express freely, and we are there to take care of them. And you wanted to know how the process
goes.
Okay.
Yeah. Does someone reach out to you, or from the instance where the TTPS reaches out to them? How does the process go?
Okay, so in the instances of crime you were talking about, we have such a great working relationship with different units within the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. It's quite, the mechanisms are quite good. So the gender-based violence unit, and I know you would have had interviews with that unit. When crimes of that nature, domestic violence, rape, child crimes come in, they immediately get on to us because, okay, this is what has happened, we need your intervention. We step in, we offer that support, we assist victims sometimes when they have to give statements, because that in itself is traumatic. It's something that they wouldn't understand and they may not be prepared for. So we are there on hand to help them. We also are there, if necessary, for the ID parade to give that emotional support. Talk to them through the process, because it may be difficult, and hold their hands until that part of it is done. And if any further therapeutic support is necessary, we are there to support that as well.
Okay, excellent. Well, we're going to take a quick break here, and we're going to be back as we continue this important discussion this morning right here. See you soon, guys.
To wake up and hear my neighbor, 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun, we are beaches.
Ha ha! Delta Distributors Christmas special is here. Choose from our special meat packages at unbelievable prices. Perfect for your holiday feasts. Hurry, limited stocks. Order now. 11 pounds chicken, 5 pounds pork, 5 pounds turkey, 1 picnic ham, 1 liter pear jacks, only $500. Order now at deltechdistributors.com. Call or WhatsApp 359-5040 or 237-0102. Only $20 delivery or come into our main road Argyle store.
There's a village round the corner where Christmas comes alive. Everything Christmas you could think out right in front of your eyes. And music playing, you could hear it from a mile. Everybody's singing loud, you know it's Christmas time. Christmas Village, you could find your uncle and auntie at Christmas Village. Buying food, you know it's a plenty. Something for you and the family at Christmas Village. We have ham, cake, lamb, jam, music from the island. Choirs, pan, parang, and someone selling appliance. There will be lights, decorations, and a tree. Drama production, episode 1, 2, and 3. Christmas Village, you could find your mommy and daddy at Christmas Village. Buying toys for nephew and niece. At Christmas Village, something for you and the family at Christmas Village.
This Christmas, believe in magic. Enjoy our comforting deals on furniture that'll leave your loved ones in awe. Only at Standard.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
Unwrap the magic of Christmas and have the best Christmas ever with a Christmas wishes loan from Bethel Credit Union.
Up to 20,000 can be yours, so you can take care of all those Christmas expenses. You could even pay off all your debts and your credit card.
Come on down to where we make wishes come through, because we see you
at BCU.
Visit any of our offices today at 31 Bethlehem Road, Bethel, Tobago, or Mount Mary, Lower Scarborough, Tobago.
You can contact us at 639-8226-660-7358 or 631-1336.
Normal lending criteria apply. Think, plan, save with Bethel Credit Union. Because we see you at BCU. We see you at BCU. Come on down, get a loan or two, cause we see you this Christmas at BCU.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Now, this morning we have been speaking with Davarel Cipriani, who is a Senior Victims and Witness Support Officer at the TTPS. And yesterday, in honor of, or I can't say honor, but in support of all the victims or the families of the victims who have experienced loss by murder in Tobago here over the past year. And we know that in Tobago this year we've seen increase in the murder rate like never before. And so to offer the support to those families, the TTPS did hold a Life After Loss initiative yesterday. And Ms. Cipriani, you're going to tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So the Life After Loss initiative was conceptualized as we looked at the numbers coming in. Tobago had, fingers crossed, 25 murders for 2024, which is unheard of for our community. It spoke to 150% increase in murders in Tobago. and it's the highest in our country's history. And when we saw the figures, it was staggering, it was unprecedented. And at the Victim and Witness Support Unit, we're trying to figure out, how do we give support? How do we offer more care to our clients? Because what happens, everybody experiences this loss in silos. So we're going to have to work with this client individually, that client individually. And we felt that collective hurt from our clients. Loss is difficult, and that's one of the things we're always going to see. Nobody's prepared for that, and especially loss in such a violent way. How do you even begin to cope with that? And that was a question that we constantly got from our clients, and we felt that we needed to create a community for these persons to understand that you're not experiencing this alone. There are other persons who know exactly how you feel, and there are other persons who can support and be a support system for you. And that is really where Life After Loss came into fruition. So yesterday was the actual initiative. And what we did, we had those families come to a space together, and we were able to have meaningful conversation, but also do it in a space that was therapeutic. And I must say thank you to Merci Beaucoup, because they really did an amazing job in hosting us yesterday, creating that ambience for those families who would have been having the most difficult year, because it's the Christmas season now, and we know that seasonal depression is a real thing that persons are experiencing. Could you imagine your first holiday without a significant person from your family? You're just looking at this chair and realizing this chair is empty. The traditions that you would have, the things that you would do, it's not happening anymore, because in a matter of seconds, a life was snuffed out. So we really wanted to just give those persons, give those families a hand, and let them know that the Victim and Witness Support Unit and the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, we're doing everything that we can do to still offer that support to them. They are seen, they are heard, and the names of their loved ones still resonate with us, because we are doing everything within our power to also have justice for them, while also support them through this difficult life change.
How can those persons get the type of resource support, especially when it comes to possibly finances? Does the TTPS lead them to those directions? Because from time to time you have persons experiencing the loss of a breadwinner. So how does that work? How does one maneuver that situation?
And I do appreciate you asking that question. And that was something that we thought about too, because it's something that comes up. Because a lot of the persons who would have lost their lives were the breadwinners from their family. And we thought it best to partner with the Division of Health in this initiative, because the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection has several different arms. They have the probation unit, they have social services, social welfare, and all of these units are units that we can tap into to find resources for persons. They have the REACH program that allows persons to start small businesses and guide them along that way. And in utilizing these different agencies and partnering with the division, it creates a seamless transition. So we step in at that initial crisis point, and we offer our services. We give them that emotional support, we give them that psychosocial support, and then we lead them over to the Division of Health and Wellness, where they're able to step in and get the grants that are necessary to help persons support themselves throughout their life after the loss.
Excellent. And so I see that yesterday's initiative was quite engaging, and the families were able to do a number of activities and stuff like that. How important is it to create a network and a support group? Because there is the individual one-on-one counseling that happens, and the individual support that happens. But we see in the international context that there are support groups where people sit around a circle and they share their experience with loss, and they offer support to others even while they themselves are in grief. And it has been proven to assist in the healing process. Is that an aspect of what is being offered under the the current initiative?
Definitely, and that was definitely what we were aiming for in creating that. Oftentimes, because of the nature of our work, it's very, very fast paced, and we sometimes honestly can get lost in it, and we always try to find ways to create that network of support for our clientele. And yesterday, in bringing everybody together, because when you have these tragic losses, sometimes persons want to isolate. They don't know. They feel judged. They feel everybody just going to ask me, how are you feeling? How are you feeling? And they can't relate to that. But when they are able to put a face to other persons who know exactly what they're feeling, I could look at you and be like, you know what is happening within me. We saw that partnership. We saw persons engaging with each other. And there we were able to ask, are you willing to be a part of a support group? And the response was overwhelmingly great. So we know out of this initiative, a support group for persons in the Tobago space who've lost loved ones to homicide is on the periphery, and it's something that we're going to be starting quite soon with the partnership of the Division of Health.
Excellent. I got goosebumps as you said that, because I think that that is something that is extremely necessary within the space, and having a space where persons feel like they can be vulnerable without being judged, and that they can cry about it as much as they want until they no longer need to cry about it anymore. So I am glad that that is something that is on the trajectory, and it says that you are not tone deaf to what is needed within the space. And I think that it really comes from knowing what it takes to heal, that you can also help to heal others. And so I want to say thank you to your team and to you yourself for having that real passion to do the work, because there are a number of areas where, you know, persons say you have square pegs in wrong holes, but when you have the right people who can truly relate to what it really means to lose someone and to heal from that, then those people are the kind of people that you can depend on to offer you the support that you need to get through a tough time. Now, what is the contact information for your area so that persons can reach out if they know someone who have lost someone, or if they themselves are looking for support in their loss? What number can they call?
Okay, so I am happy that you were able to say that, because at Victim and Witness Support, we really try to have our ears on the ground. We listen to our clientele, and we have visionary leadership in Mrs. Aisha Price Colby, our head of social support, and Mr. Kirk Pierre, the assistant head for social support, because they do an amazing job in ensuring that clients really do receive that help that they need, and empowering the victim and witness support officers to do the work that is necessary to take care of our vulnerable clientele. In the Tobago space, persons can contact the victim and witness support at 631-1815 or 687-2518. We are always here to support persons who feel that they need any support. They've experienced things and they don't necessarily want to go into the police station and make that report. They can call us and we will offer as much help as we possibly can for those persons. We are here to help.
Right. And so persons need to understand that the victim and witness support unit is not just for persons who have experienced murder, but there are a number of crime and criminality elements that can be quite traumatic on a person.
Yeah.
For instance, we have persons who would have gotten their homes broken into. We have persons who would have gotten robbed. We've gotten their businesses robbed. And it's such a traumatic event because it's a lot of persons still wielding from feeling like, okay, there are situations where business persons, you might look at someone and feel like, okay, they have it all together. But that person was just able to make the last $500 that it takes to pay their overhead costs. And as they are breathing a sigh of relief for possibly being able to pay the bank, someone comes and snuffs that out or snuffs that away from them, leading them to a position where they are now in debt. And I mean, it goes on and on. Other areas that we don't even focus on is where cyber crimes are concerned. Now more than ever, you have persons being robbed online.
Yeah.
You have persons being deceived and sending money to buy cars and other items online and are being defrauded. And I think persons often overlook how traumatic those experiences are. Those persons themselves are also victims. And a lot of them, as I indicated before, are in a situation where they now have to try to pick their lives up again after such an experience. How can those persons with that experience those type of crimes come to you? How are they supported, and how can they feel comfortable to step forward and not necessarily see themselves as a victim, but see themselves as needing the help?
Well, persons have to accept that they want help first. And the Victim and Witness Support Unit, our doors are always open to persons who've experienced any type of crime in Trinidad and Tobago. And you're very right, cybercrime is quite a rising number. We see persons, being robbed, being scammed, but we also see persons, having their intimate moments being, and that is a major thing. As a matter of fact, the Victim and Witness Support has been doing a lot of work with the National Parent Teacher Association in having those conversations with the schools, with students in schools, because we do know that they're a vulnerable population and they are online all the time, and we see everybody's nudes being leaked and the cyberbullying. So we are actively involved with the NPTA, having those conversations to really assist the youth population in ensuring that they understand what's happening, what's taking place, and giving them that support. We offer support to everybody who has been a victim of any type of crime. And if they so need, we are here to support them. So yes, we do from murders to assault. And you're very correct. Some persons are unique. We are all unique. I shouldn't say some persons. And what may be traumatic to you may not be traumatic to me, but we don't discount those feelings. As long as you feel that what you had left something with you and you're unable to cope with it, come to us. We are here to help you deal with those feelings.
I'm glad that you raised that, because even recently we've seen, I won't say a rise, but we've seen some public school bullying happening. I don't even want to go to the extreme end where the young boy kills himself, but even here in Tobago, we had a situation where at one of the high schools, a young lady experienced having feces thrown on her in school. The bullying level is at an all-time high. So have you also partnered with the Division of Education, the Social Support Unit, to offer your services or offer support to those students?
Of course. The Division of Education, they have their department that is built in, and we offer support as is necessary. If the situations become overwhelming and those students in those particular instances need to come to us, then they definitely are welcomed. And we have seen those students and a host of different students be clients of us at the Victim and Witness Support Unit. The community police officers, as well as officers of the Gender-Based Violence Unit, are also in the school population, really trying to assist in those areas, because we do recognize our children are at an all-time high in terms of feelings of emotional pain and trauma, and we are doing everything within our power to create mechanisms to help them cope with that as well.
Right. And you said the first step is admitting that there is a problem, but for a child under 18, it might be a bit difficult to admit when there is a problem, but parents might be able to observe a shift in the behavior and the emotional disposition of their children. Can parents themselves initiate the help from your department for their kids?
Of course, parents come into us all the time because parents feel overwhelmed. We're in a society, everything's changing. We don't have the village being the community that it once was. And parents are having a difficult time coping with these new realities. So we do have parents coming into us requesting our assistance in whatever it is that is occurring with their children, because they sometimes can't understand. And it's funny because children come to us and they're more willing to speak with us sometimes than the family. And that's where the family themselves become our entire clients. So it may just be, oh, my son giving da 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 da. And then we
Right.
see the son and we recognize, oh, this is what is happening. And then the entire family, mommy, brother, sister, they all become our clients, and we help them through family therapy models to really work on the issues and help them go forward with better social functioning.
Right. And even as we round up this morning's discussion, I'm so glad that you touched on that, because there are so many parents who just become so fed up that one day they just put that child in the car and drive them to the police station and say, if you all don't deal with them, I will deal with them. And if I had to deal with them, I will get locked up. So I know of a lot of parents who are saying, like, I need to get the police to intervene in this situation. So I'm glad that you touched on that. So you are making it known that this department also handles situations of juvenile delinquency.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
and giving guidance to young persons as well, because I know that a lot of parents are like, I need to get police to talk to this boy before he goes down the wrong road, or this young girl before she ends up, you know.
Yeah.
So how can a parent come in and get you to speak to their children in that capacity and then get initiated into the entire process?
Well, if a parent so feels, and if they don't necessarily want to go, they don't want to make a formal report at the police station, and they give us a call telling us, okay, this is what is happening. I really need this assistance. I don't want it to get to that point. When we hear that, we step in at that point. This is what is needed. We work with the family. If we have to find external agencies to assist us in whatever is necessary, then we do that. But as long as there is a cry for help, we are the victim support are here to answer that cry.
I'm so glad that you gave all of this information this morning. I think that it is so timely, and it is important that persons know that there are resources out there that they can benefit from. And for the parents who really believe that their children need that support before things get out of hand, they can call you. So please give them the contact information one more time where they can reach out, whether they have experienced loss, they are victims of some type of crime, or they are trying to prevent crime from happening by means of helping to lead their children down the right path.
So they can contact the Victim and Witness Support Unit, Tobago Division, at 631-1815 or 687-2518.
Excellent, guys. And that you've heard it here. The resources are available, so take advantage of it. And I myself am most excited about early intervention. We don't always want to be reactive, but more proactive. So if there is a situation where you feel like, even if it was as a result of loss or a traumatic situation that, you know, the kids or any person within the family might be looking like they're leading towards going down a very negative and dark path. Let's be real. Revenge is a real thing. And a part of grief after murder, a lot of persons want to seek revenge. And so someone has to talk them down from that ledge. And so I am glad to know that the Victim and Witness Support Unit is able to intervene before we can see a rise in crime and criminality here on the island of Tobago. Guys, unfortunately, we wrap up right here this morning, and we want to thank Davarel Cipriani so much for coming in this morning and educating us on everything that the TTPS have been doing to support families during this holiday season, and on a whole, they have initiated a number of new programs here in Tobago to offer community support as well as individual support, offering a number of resources and connections, networks, access to the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection, leading some of their families pointing them in the right direction to get the support that they need. So again, we want to say a special thank you to you and your team for all the work that you have been doing. We want to encourage you to keep going. Keep heart, don't give up. We know that work like this is heavy. So we hope that you are doing all that you need to do to keep yourself sane, and we hope that you have a great Christmas and you enjoy with you and your family. Guys, we want to thank you so much for being a part of this morning's discussion. We want to thank you for your likes, your shares, and your comments, and everything that you have been doing to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Guys, I am Chanel Felix, and again, have a great day.